Okay, welcome everyone. As we are at the lower support box, I thought it was a good idea to go live and see what happens, because at the moment price has been moving down. I haven't identified any signs of strength yet. Currently, of course, at the lower box over here, price moving to the downside, supported by a bit of bearish CVDs along the way. And we have volume increasing into the second leg of support. So earlier here, nothing happened. There was no bounce, no sign of strength when price was creating this range. You can even see as well, we had bearish CVDs while touching this box, right? So price moving down, up, bearish CVDs as well. So absolutely zero signs of strength at the moment. No interest for any longs in my case. I have not taken any positions to the upside. And now we are here at the lower area. Now, usually I prefer my blue boxes, which is now white. This one used to be blue, compared to additional areas that I find, like the golden pocket here. This white box is quite simply a support resistance area on the chart. Right, so support, resistance, resistance, support, as you can see. And there's a value area low of a volume profile, which is where we are at the moment. So that is basically it, right? And so far, there's nothing going on. Oops, I don't want to remove that folder. So there is nothing that has triggered me to show any interest. And of course, price moving down as volume is increasing. So one has to be aware of potentially losing this support, which we haven't done yet, but I am aware of this. And that's also why I wanted to go live, as we have been talking about these two areas. And as price is now at the lower area, a bit of volume increasing as well. I thought it was a good idea to go live, talk about the price action, talk about my approach as well on the chart. And then, of course, also the thumbnail being how low, right? Like, what are the scenarios? What are we looking for? And of course, locally as well as on a higher time frame. I've covered a few things in the video earlier, and we'll see where we end up. I'm planning to be live for about an hour. So let's see what we can do in that hour. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you guys here. I literally planned the stream and I immediately started the stream as well. So it's, I don't know, maybe people got a notification, maybe not, but no one expected me to be live at this time. So people will be joining as the live stream continues. But yeah, currently at support, right? So let's do the 15-minute first, and then I will also explain my trading approach. So at the moment, again, I'm not in any longs. We did not have any signs of strength at the first area of support. We even had, as mentioned, bearish CVDs, right? So bearish CVDs move down when volume is increasing on support is not a good sign. There is absolutely no sign of strength, no market structure, no impulsive move up and corrective move to the downside. No bullish CVDs, no nada. Absolutely zero, right? And now we are at the lower box over here. And of course, again, that will be things that I will keep an eye on, right? So again, I'll keep an eye on local Elliott wave structures, CVD, right? Maybe even flip resistance now into support. So, yeah, that is basically my my approach in a nutshell. Now, first of all, to make things very simple, and that is also no different compared to the video that I posted earlier today. This move up is very three-wavy. Probabilities are low. We are counting an impulsive structure. The only impulsive structure you might want to count would be a diagonal. It's too early for a diagonal. You need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only relevant at a wave 4. At the moment there's no high probability diagonal here. You need a lot of patience. So a multi 1-2, as mentioned, doesn't look great. Impulse doesn't work because of the overlap here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 is too deep. So that increases probabilities for a three-wave move. and therefore the probabilities on the higher time frames and on the 15, of course, you're looking for price to take out this low at some point. Of course, we did have the 886 touch over here, which adds some probabilities to taking the high or continuing the range. But if we lose this support, then it's not really going to be too interesting, because losing this support, I don't really have anything below here, and then the lows get very close. And that is what the 4-hour probability said in the video as well. Is, we're still looking to take out the low. That is also why I am very patient with my longs, because the higher time frame still has higher probabilities to take out the low. So from a, I suppose, like directional bias, right? Higher time frame still looking for a low, make sure it's a little more interesting. Even though locally in this range, I was like, well, trying to look for a bit of a long, maybe to 83 is interesting. I had interest here and interest here. I'd still have interest, but there's just no sign of strength at all. Like at all. Price moving to the downside. So I'll just share my thought process here. So of course I'm interested, but I'm a patient trader. I never long the moment my boxes get hit, right? I need to see the reaction, be patient, see what we get. I see price moving down. I see volume increasing, and this candle over here on the volume chart is this one. So price is moving into support when volume increases. Now, quite clearly, we can count the potential of a 1, 2, 3 down here, right? So you then have some sort of a diagonal corrective, 1, 2, and potentially 3 with the highest volume in 3, which basically means, okay, from an Elliott wave point of view, you might get another 4 and 5. So let's just wait and see what we get, right? This bounce, this is 5-minute time frame. I generally trade 15 minutes and higher, so it takes a little bit of time before I get interested. But even on a 5-minute, we basically lose it, go to the bottom area, right? Have a bit of a bounce up, and then you have bearish CVDs, right? That could even be a short entry, not even a long entry. Right? There's absolutely zero strength, nada. So no interest. Okay, cool. We're looking for price to move down. And I'm talking about longs now specifically, not shorts. So price moving down, right? Nothing, la di la. Now we're here, but look at the volume. Price moves down, volume increases, again hitting the next area of support. If we are looking for wave 3s, right, impulsive structures, preferably the highest amount of volume is in your wave 3, and you still expect a 4 and a 5. So seeing volume increase into support is at the moment not creating any interest, right? First of all, we don't have a bounce. We don't have a change of structure. There are no local 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corrective structure, right? That gives a long potentially, right? And then you look for price to take out this high with the potential of moving higher, right? But even 83. It would be nice if you then also have bullish CVDs. Take out the high, another retracement, bullish CVDs, etc. Bullish CVDs. Market structure changes, right? And then you start to create bullish CVDs as prices moving up with impulsive structures to the upside and corrective moves to the downside. Now that creates interest from my side. As long as we don't get anything like that, I have zero interest, and we are touching the golden pocket, volume increasing. If we lose the golden pocket, arguably the final level in this area, then down we go, take out the low, and we move to lower supports. So no trade is also a trade, of course. At least no long is also a trade, because you save your hard-earned bucks for another day. Now, to the downside, we then have the blue box, 67.7, 68.9. And, of course, still this area here, just below us, we have the higher time frame golden pocket. If you've checked some of my content, you know what I'm talking about. It is the golden pocket taken from 49 to the all-time high. Bit of an interesting golden pocket because on the log chart, it's a little different, right? It's lower, 66.6, 64.4. So we'll see what price does. I'm actually curious. What's the confluence here? It's still in between. I do like my blue boxes though. I do like my blue boxes. So yeah, let's see what we get. We can remove this one now as well. I'll remove this one as well. And of course, a reason to be live is seeing price move down to this lower area, volume increasing, potential to lose all of this and just go for the low. And then let's see if price can actually manage to do that. So yeah, that's currently my approach. If I at least look for a move up, right, move down, you had the bearish CVDs here. Right, I wasn't really looking necessarily for a short trade today, but sometimes you gotta give what the market, gotta take what the market gives you. Of course, there were a bit of bearish CVDs here, but we also at the same time had bullish CVDs. So I didn't really use the 15-minute CVD. I only kept an eye as price slowly started moving down. I just kept an eye on the low time frame CVDs here, not being bothered by the 15-minute because it doesn't provide me information. Both bearish, both bullish CVDs, so it's kind of like neutral. And what happens more locally is a lot more interesting, right? You can have bullish CVDs as well as bearish, but if on a 3-minute time frame you start creating bearish CVDs with every bounce, you're going to look for price to move down and take out the low, right? The local CVD always is the CVD that is leading, right? More local is always better. So yeah, currently at the golden pocket, now attempting, of course, moving below this little SR area. Do I really expect a lot from this area? I don't know, my blue box, of course, was here. And I do prefer the boxes. The low here was made on one of the boxes. At least a solid little bounce. This was a box over here. This is additional, like an additional area of support that I found just before the video. Now, if we then zoom out, right? So if we zoom out, things, of course, are interesting. Let me remove the... Oh, wait, let me actually do this. Up. So the next blue box on my chart is 68. And you can see as well why. Because there is pretty much... Oh, we can remove these now. There is pretty much a gap between the low and the 68K area. So if price is not, and actually we've been talking about 68 for quite a bit, right? For quite a bit already in previous content. So it's interesting. Between this low and the box, I don't have any other horizontals. Yes, there is the golden pocket on the high time frame, but it's not really in confluence with like a significant, like, yeah, okay, you have a support resistance area, but not like a horizontal. Like I do like my horizontal levels, especially volume related. And if we take a volume profile of this range, then you will see loading. There we go. That the point of control, guess what, is also around the blue box. I might even have to adjust it slightly. So maybe I pulled it on a weekly, I don't know, but let's just adjust this just a little bit. There we go. So the point of control of this range, right, is also at that like 67, 68K area, right? Interesting. If you lose the point of control, potentially move towards the value area low, and then the 50s become, of course, very close. However, do I really think we go that low? Yeah. I from a swingy point of view, I'm more interested in looking for swings to the upside at the moment. So, if we would tank, happy to miss out on, on not adding new swing shorts because we retraced a big move and, we're, from an Elliott wave point of view, starting to be more interested to look at ending structures instead of converting into a very big wave 3. And then, so let's go through the 4-hour time frame. So we've done the 15-minute. Here, we even had some more bearish CVDs here as well, already played out. Interesting, eh? Interesting. So bearish CVDs basically means there is absorption of market longs with limit shorts, pushing price to the downside. And as explained, currently there is zero interest for me here to enter any new positions. Not at all. Okay, let's zoom out. What's up, Sibel? I see it in the corner of my eye. I'll be in chat in a second, guys. I just want to make sure we go through the analysis from the get-go, and then I'll make sure to check out chat. Okay. Now, if price would move down, right, if we do lose that support and we would take out the low, then this is a very, very short move for a, well, not really necessarily this one, for a wave 4. Right? It's very, very small, right? So at least your wave 2 was quite big, at least in price, not in time. Then you have your 3, but your wave 4 is very, very tiny, both in price and in time, which doesn't really look nice for a diagonal, right? Would have been nicer if you get like a W, you get your X, and you get your wave Y, like a solid 3-wave structure to the upside. Takes more time. Up, sideways, up would be better for a diagonal wave 4. So if you drop to the downside and take out the low, it actually hurts the probabilities of this scenario just because your wave 4 is so short. Which is not really what you want to see. Alternatively, your wave 3 is not finished, and this is going to be like a W. You get your X, right, and then your wave Y. And this WXY is going to be your wave 3, okay? There is no reason why wave 3 can't go further down, right? All of the waves in this diagonal have to be, at the moment, zigzag family structures because of 1, as 1 is a 3-wave. Therefore, your wave 3 and your 5 have to be 3 waves as well. But 3 waves equals zigzag family structure, being a simple zigzag, double zigzag, triple zigzag. So if price would take out this low very soon, it would be very short for a wave 4. Doesn't look nice. And then it becomes more interesting to be like, you know what, that's your 1, that's your 2, right? And 1 second, what am I saying? This is already a WX and then a wave Y. So what I just said, I don't know why I started counting the wave 3 from here. What was my goal here? I was talking cock there for a second. Because this is your 2, so this has to be a WX and I look for Y anyway with an ABC. The only thing, oh wait, that's where I wanted to go to. The wave C, so your wave 3, right? If you look for your A, B, and then a C, the only way you can end your wave 3 lower is then a diagonal. Right? So you have your 1, your 2, your 3, your 4, your 5. That's your 3. Then you start with 4, and then you get another drop in a 5 later. Because I'm not convinced this is a wave 4 of such a big diagonal. Right? It doesn't really make sense. It's very, very short. So in other words, if price would fall down, all these lines are gonna move, right? And you're gonna do like this. So, and that is with regards to the diagonal. Now this is your WXY double zigzag, right? So in this case, we're looking for lower anyway. I do like 83K, but I don't know, a bit doubtful if we get it. We keep here even more bearish CVDs now, by the way. Lower high, you can see it. Lower high on price, higher high on the yellow line on the CVD, right? So there is, again, absorption of market longs with limit shorts. You can even see the line moving as we are watching. Let's go to the 1 minute here. This is why it's good to also be able to read CVD. But you can see that here with this high, lower high on the 1 minute, higher high CVD, bearish CVD. So, of course, you can break it. We are currently at like the second area of potential support locally. So like I'm you know, everyone has their own plan, but I'm not trading short into a support unless I get very clear signs to do so. High volume in support, bearish CVDs, price already dipping below the previous support. That's interesting, right? But now we are at the golden pocket taken from the low to the high. There you go. And generally, the golden pocket is not a place to, in this case, short, but hey, everyone does their own thing. The other scenario, right? So the WXY double zigzag requires this diagonal as well. So the reason why, by the way, we're keeping an eye on the diagonals now all the time, which is a little annoying, not gonna lie, is because of this move up. So you cannot count this wave here as a wave 4. In an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's too high, right? It's too high. It hit the 0.618, and that acts as an invalidation for a wave of 4. I'm just checking the index chart just to see if it's only Coinbase that did it, but no, we also hit it here. Now, it is unheard of. Even I spoke about it with Robert Prechter as well. He has never seen a wave 4 going to a 618, so it doesn't really make sense to count wave 4s hitting 618s. From my experience, that's the same. I don't see it unless you talk about diagonals, where wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 can of course retrace deeper. But still, it's very rare for that to happen. I've never seen. So the fact that price here, if you want to count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 touch the 618, doesn't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch the 618, right? Yeah, not cool. Let me have a look at the following though. So if we would count maybe an impulse, like this would be your highest, like, so if you count an impulse, you want wave 2 to end here, right? Now imagine this is 3, that's 4, that's 5. If you end wave 2 here and you take a fib from the end of 2 to the end of 3, wave 4 touches the 618. If we are going to be very cheeky, which is not really something that I like to do, you can pull a fib from the high there, and then you're like, oh, well, we didn't hit the 618, right? So the highest point in a wave 2 did not touch the 618. But that means that your wave 2 still ends there because of the steepness of this structure. But this is the highest point in your wave 2. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look great, does it? And then do we have overlap here as well? No, we don't. We just missed out on overlap. Close, but no cigar. Most bearish is quite simply double 1, 2. Look, from a trading point of view, it's actually quite easy, right? So local price movements touching 618, right, leading to diagonal counts as well, right? It's not easy having diagonals everywhere. But from a trading point of view, right, if one, in this case, would aim to long, well, you got to wait for a reaction, no reaction, no reaction, right? And if bearish CVDs stag, it's more interesting to get into shorts, look for a low, depending on your plan, your strategy. And if price takes out the low, goes to some of the support areas, right, just wait for another move. I think this is a great example of also, right, we make a low on support. Can we long it or can't we? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3-wave retracement up. So that could have been a potential long, but on a 1 hour time frame, right, you can't really see what's going on here. So on the, that's a more low time frame trade. But we quite early identified this as a 3-wave structure, which is bearish, not bullish. Right? It's bearish, not bullish. I got a lot of reading to do. Feel free to ask questions. If you don't understand everything I say, just ask questions. I'm happy to explain things to the beginners out here or people that have absolutely no clue. Let's be very simple. Let me just be very, very to the point here, right? The probabilities of on the 4 hour haven't changed compared to earlier today, right? So we're still looking for price to take out this low. That's as easy as I can make it, right? And then the next area, next blue box at least, is 67.4, 68.9. And locally on a 15-minute time frame, right, there were 2 areas of potential support, currently at the second area. But there is no sign of strength. Right, so when you're trading, of course, you want to have your own plan, your own strategy. And in my case, I look for certain signs of strength, basically check boxes if I see this, and this, then I'm happy to join. If I don't see it, I'm not joining. And at the very beginning of the stream, I explained why I did not take any long here. Currently, not taking any long here. It's much more interesting at the moment to short compared to long, as long as your what is it? You have a plan, right? So yeah. Okay, then we zoom out again. So that is your probabilities, right? And what I want to see is from a support area, get a 5 wave up, right? This here is a 3. So if we go to a 50-minute time frame, right? Up, sideways, up. We want to see a 5 wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when price hits a support level, we miss the initial bounce. But that's no problem. I mean, theoretically, you can count 5 waves up here, these 3, and then you can possibly long that, right? But that would be 5-minute, 3-minute counting. I have no interest in that. So I like to wait for a 15-minute, 1-hour time frame, impulse structure to the upside. And once it's finished, get a 3-wave corrective move down. These are quite easy to identify then, right? And then that is the long. That is the position. And because price here showed a 3-wave structure, I'm very careful with trying to long because the probabilities are higher to take out that low. Yes, we have the 886 touch here, right? W, X, and then Y. Was this potentially a double zigzag? No, you can't. Didn't take the low. ABC. And ABC, you can still get some sort of a flat. 1, 2, 1, 2. Get a 3 down, 4, 5, 4, 5. Right? There's several options, but they all lead to taking out that low. If price moves up, my area of interest to short is 83. That's my main area. I like my boxes. So 83K, if price can make it up there, oh, happy days. And then again, I'll wait for a reaction. I want to see 5 waves, get a 3-wave up, maybe some bearish CVDs as well, right? And that, cool. Then I'm ready. Then I definitely start showing some interest. But at the moment here, not so much. Nonetheless, though, to the downside, it starts to become more and more interesting to look for swing longs. But even those, in my case, need a bit of a proof. So if we then zoom out, now we talk Elliott waves again. So maybe not as simple. Oh, by the way, these bearish CVDs also played out again. So double zigzag. The reason why I got a diagonal here is because of that 618 touch taken from this high to that low. No, it's not definitely not a great impulse. What's this? Just checking. Yeah, okay, we took that low as well. You can't even count this as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because of the overlap with 1, which isn't allowed. So your most bearish scenario would be a double 1, 2. Right, so you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, you get a big 3 down. But we got to take it step by step. Right? No need to be fearful. No need to be hopeful. Right? Both of these emotions and many more emotions will be bad for your portfolio. Just got to trade and take what comes to you. No? So, and I pretty much, that's why in this stream I want to approach or talk about my approach a bit more. Because this area of support, of course, was no interest, no bueno. And then we move down. And the moment over here we move to the downside for this support, I'm like, yeah, Bitcoin not looking very strong, Bitcoin looking weak. I wrote that in Discord earlier today. And also in the silver updates, I've been posting like, okay, I don't see any signs of strength, right? Price moving to the downside, volume is increasing, bearish CVDs, right? There's no sign of strength at the moment. And then I was like, yeah, maybe it's a good idea for me to go live and just talk about how I approach certain things. Ooh, maybe a Band-Aid blue badge, by the way. I just see it. So let's see if in the time we're live, price is gonna do anything significant. Nope. The reason why I put a diagonal here is due to the three wavy nature, right? A, B, C. However, wave 2 always needs to be a zigzag family structure. And then we get to time again. Let's see. Would this be okay? No, even that is too short. Wave 2 would be so incredibly short. Doesn't really make sense. So both in a 2 here as well as 4, you actually want a bigger structure. Having such a short structure... It at least opens the door for wave 3s. He shorts markets too. Yeah. Well, are you talking about me? For sure. If market crashes and Bitcoin goes to zero, we will see Kun on OnlyFans. Well, luckily I'm not invested in the market with spot and stuff. So no worries. If Bitcoin goes to zero, my life doesn't change. We'll just trade another asset. For me, Bitcoin is very much focused on trading, which is in and out, and not focused on holding. At least, definitely not since we passed 100K. Because on a weekly time frame, it's a fun comment. Remember, on a weekly time frame, you have to go to the bit older videos. This was one scenario we kept a close eye on, and yeah. Target area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inside wave 5, couple of 1, 2s, 3, couple of 4, 5s. And then, of course, the question was, do we get one more high on the daily and then a move down? But by all means, this one more high was still going to be a wave 5 to then see a drawdown afterwards. So in the end, we're looking for a dip. So, it's not really an area where I'm like, yeah, I want to hold on. So, no. So, yeah. I'm afraid I'm afraid my OnlyFans account for you, Annie, has to wait. It won't be launched just yet. I'm having fun trading this though. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about some of the areas around price. So upside 83, most interesting resistance. If we can hit 83, impulse down, corrective up, I might be interested to short. Right? Today has been a very quiet day, not gonna lie. To the downside is 68K area of support, one that I keep an eye on. And below this, we start moving 62, right? Then we have 57, then we have 54, and then there's a gap, and then there you are back in the 40s, which would be very deep. I'm not thinking we go that far. So I'm slowly starting to look more and more into like price action that forms like this. You know what I mean? So seeing some more lows, getting closer to that 68, maybe move towards the lower 60s, 50s, maybe we touch the 50s, value area low, who knows. But it's been quite a move already. GZ in the group, someone in Discord, had the potential of WXY and then X and then look for Z. Oops. But the WXYXZ is very rare though. it still requires you to have an impulsive structure down. So this needs to become an impulse for those type of structure, impulsive structure, diagonal or a traditional impulse. But I think so far we can agree this looks very three-wavy. This also looks very three-wavy. So in a bearish case, that's a multi 1-2 for you. Meaning you get a 1-2, 1-2, and you get a 3 down. And then eventually you get 4-5, 4-5. Right? After double 4-5, look for a three-wave bounce. And then you take the low once more. At least probabilities would be on the side for that to happen. Ooh. So that is currently your most bearish option. The other ones are arguably a bit more bullish, but you still look for the low to be taken. Here you look for a low to be taken, but the diagonal is not as bearish as a full impulse. And here you also look for the low to be taken. So hey, that's what I keep an eye on. Okay, local price action. Let's see. We are currently at this little range. See if price can do anything worth. In silver earlier today, I shared like only focusing on this structure here, right? A, B, C, or of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So by now we can take a 618 from the high, just track it. And this is the invalidation for a wave 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 not allowed to touch that 618. If price would move up and touch the 618, probabilities increase for an ABC down here, with the most bearish option being 1, 2, 1, 2 down, but lower in probabilities than an ABC. You got to touch the 618 first, though. Okay. Lots of chatting. How long are we on now? 43 minutes. Yeah. So my plan, I'll explain my plan to end it with. All right. So my trading plan. Let me explain a little bit of last week, just to explain the context of what I keep an eye on. We had a blue target box here, and we had a blue target box here. You can go to the older videos. And wasn't interested to short immediately. The moment price took out this low, there was the potential for a diagonal, right? Because a diagonal needs 3 lows, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Supported by continuous bearish CVDs, that was an area of interest to short. Now the next box, I do like to trade towards my boxes. I didn't have any supports in the meantime. The next box was down here. And as price moves down, you can count a 5-wave structure. Some people maybe like to count an ABC, but you can definitely consider this a 5-waver as well. In both cases, over here, you're looking for price to end an impulsive structure, which means that a bounce becomes interesting. And if you have been up to date with my recent shorts, then you know that one of my favorite trades happens to be the end of wave 5s. Let me actually find this one for you. You cannot probably hear it. But this is a short uploaded recently. So Mark asked the question, which setup do you trade most, and or which do you like to trade the most? And then I say probably the end of an impulse, because it is so clear, right? So you have a grind, sharp move down, and then another grind, right? And that's then your long area, especially if you are close to an area of additional support, right? So, and that's the first few seconds that I talk about it. So we have an area of support here. Price comes down. We have a bit of a grind, sharp move down, and then this is where you start ranging again, right? Lots of overlap. So that is where the position in the other direction was taken. After that, I've been very quiet actually in my trading. Weekend, I never really engage. I'm not really interested in the weekend. Yeah. When I woke up Monday morning, price was already down here. And I don't have interest in shorting or longing in the middle of a dump. So, and then this is where we are now. And so far, it's been very quiet, very quiet. So, yeah, I would like now. So my plan then, what am I looking for now as regards to my trading? I only have 2 areas of interest. This one and that one. And if locally I can get a 5-wave move here and a corrective retracement, preferably with some bull CVDs as well, I can be interested to take a potential long here. But my area of interest to short is first touching this box actually. And what I then want to see is impulse down, correction up, maybe some bear CVD. If we don't get clear impulse and correction, market structure, bearish, right? Just like we had here. And then consistent bear CVD, yeah, I'll take a shot. That's so. As you can see, I don't just have limits set. I wait for the reaction. I never snipe highs or lows. Same at the box over here, right? I have no interest in just setting limits there, right? I'm very happy to miss out on the first move and then trade a 3-wave corrective structure. And then that is what I'm looking for in my long. So it requires a bit of Elliott wave knowledge, requires some CVD knowledge as well, right? Market structure up, consistent CVDs, flipping resistance in support, Elliott waves, right? So, yeah. And if you keep that in mind, it kind of also explains why I've been not really engaged with the market here. Like there was an opportunity maybe to long here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3-wave retracement, and then a quick move up. But yeah, 15-minute stuff. My favorite time frame for Elliott waves trading would be a 1 hour to a 4-hour time frame. I like the 1 hour. It's patient enough, right? It gives a few setups. It's less stressful. Yeah, it's less stressful. And you can see also here on a 1 hour time frame, very, very clear structure. And then the one I took over here, right, very clear structure on a 1 hour. So I do like that time frame. So yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. And other than that, I'm just very, very patient. Very patient. Just waiting to see what this is going to be. So we are now here at this little range. We'll see if we get any bounce, yes or no. No. We are now below the. Oh no, we're still at the golden pocket. Okay, so we're still at support. No. Let's see if there's any volume. 786 value area lows. Oh, but that's it. That's it. Did we go too deep for a WXY double zigzag or not? We didn't touch the 0.7 yet, so a double zigzag is theoretically still something to think about if you do move up. Wait, did I just remove my... yes. There we go. Wait. Okay, very nice. If price is going to correct, right, corrective structure up, zigzag, flat, triangles, look for the low, but there's not, it's a bit empty. 786 failure area lows, but yeah, I explained my plan, and I'm currently not in any local active positions. I explained what I look for, and I have the patience to sit back, chill, and enjoy the ride. My size in every trade is different because it depends on my stop loss. So just as an example, imagine we have a short where the stop loss is 1%. And imagine we have a long where the stop loss is 2%. Right? I want to keep my risk the same. So if you have, let me make this more realistic, by the way. If you have, guys, what would be a common size for people? Maybe they drop like what, 1K, 10K in an account, not 100K. Let's say we have like 10K, right? 1% of 10K is $100. Okay, so we trade responsibly. We have a 1% risk, and 1% risk with a stop loss of 1% means that you can enter theoretically with 1x leverage, and your whole 10K goes in there, right? So you have $100 stop loss here. Now, even though my stop loss is now longer, I am not risking $200 here. Instead, my position size is going to go down by 50%, right? So this position size is 10K. For this trade, right, I also have 10K. However, only 5K goes into this trade. 2% of 5K equals $100. So therefore, my position size is different, right? Because now you enter with half the size that you did here, but your risk remains the same. And that's most important. I also think, what I mean, based on my experience and what I can recommend is to not focus on your position size. Focus on your risk. Don't focus on, I enter every trade with this exact amount. Because if your stop loss is different, you basically risk a different value every time. I like to speak in percentage terms instead of dollar terms. So 1%, losing 1% per trade if you get a loss. Instead of losing 0.5 and then 1 and then 5 and then 0.5 and then 2 and then, because you just hold on to the exact same size. Every trade you take is like, boom, 10K position size here. 10K position size here, right? 10K position size here. I mean, you might, like, this one might win, right? And then this one loses. And then here you lose 8K, right? And here you win 3K. It doesn't really add up to use the same size with different stop losses. So focus on the risk. Like, focus on the risk. The risk is most important. Instead of having the same value every trade. Would you still be interested in longing after the 0.7 hit? If we get a 5-wave structure to the upside, yes. So the 0.7 won't avoid me, right? It won't make me fearful to take a potential long, but I need to see strength. Right, so I explained what I look for. We just missed out on touching it, actually. And also the 0.7, it's not an invalidation of a double zigzag, but it reduces probability significantly. So yeah, I'll be very patient. And then again, for shorts, I'm more interested in this area. Look for signs of weakness, right? And then that is where I'm interested. I'm not interested here. I don't like that. I wanna wait. I wanna wait. See what price does. Right? Be patient. Have a quick peek, because of course there's been questions and stuff. What's up, R-Pink? Welcome back, by the way. I'm gonna scroll through this quick. My wave 4 is always tiny. Generally, they're of course bigger than 2s, at least more often. It's all statistics, but it's based on statistics, 4s tend to be longer in time than 2s. What's up, Mark, by the way? Maybe a Band-Aid. Good to have you guys here. Oh, yeah, the reading. Yeah. I can recommend you some reading, by the way. You want to learn about Elliott waves? Then check this out. I do not have the tab open with my object or object tree. With the LINKTREE. That's the one. LINKTREE. There we go. So LINKTREE here, right? Then you scroll down and you go to Elliott Wave Education. Check out the book Elliott Wave Principle by Robert Prechter, which is, by the way, it's this one. And you can go to the Elliott Wave website, which is, again, and I always say this just to be sure, the bigger the channel gets, the more important this becomes. But I'm not affiliated by this website. I don't have any relationship with them. The only relationship I have with this page is that I use this one to learn. I have not learned Elliott waves at any course, any other person than me, myself, and I, and my online resources. And this is one of the best resources that I personally found very useful in my journey. So that is why I can recommend it. And hopefully it will be useful for you too. So the website is, of course, free. The book is like $20. And then, of course, we have stuff as well, like the full guide playlist on YouTube. I recommend first reading the website before you attempt going through all the videos here. And then, of course, Gold membership is there to help you out and make sure that the learning curve is shortened. Right? Okay. Then we continue. Is it possible 74K? Yes. But, and this is what I mentioned in the morning update. Look, ideally, I like to see 83K. It's also because I want to short after the resistance hits at 83 if the opportunity is there. So, you know, it would be at least a potential setup there, but it also works better in these scenarios, having a bit of a bigger wave 2, right? Having a bit of a bigger wave 4. It just would be nice. And then afterwards, take out that low. I'm happy. And then cool. Take out the low. But at the moment, on a 4-hour time frame, without all of the local mess here, probabilities are higher to take out the low, yes. And the reason for that is due to a 3-wave move up from the low. And the fact that this is a 3-wave structure increases probabilities to take the low. Now, Elliott waves sometimes is, of course, very simple, right? If you create a low, you look for this is how I'm going to approach it. If you if price makes a low or price makes a high, then the easiest thing to do is to wait for an impulsive structure to form. And if you cannot count a structure as an impulse, then likely corrective. Now, what do I mean? If a low is formed, you either look for this, you either look for this, I'll explain in a second, or you look for this, right? Now, the impulsive structures generally are easiest to recognize compared to corrective structures. So that is why it's easier to look for these structures. There's a lot more corrective options. You have the zigzags, zigzag, double zigzag, triple zigzag. You have the flats, regular flat, expanded flat, running flat, triangles, contracting, barrier, running triangles, and you have the WXYs as well, right? Being the sideways WXYs, WXY-XZs, also there. So there's a lot more corrective structure. So it's easier to be like, okay, can I count a move to the upside as an impulse or not? If not, probabilities are higher to take the low. If yes, I look for a correction and another move up to take out the high. Okay, so if we apply this on the chart, as per the previous video as well, by the way, can we count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here? No, because wave 4 went too deep, overlap with wave 1. One of the rules in Elliott waves is that in an impulse, wave 1 and 4 are not allowed to overlap, which is the case here. Now, because of the overlap, the only two bullish scenarios that remain is a multi 1, 2, which is what this is, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, you get a 3, or a diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you also want overlap between 1 and 4, then retracement and up. So then you're like, okay, what's the probability for the multi 1, 2? Well, a multi 1, 2 is then a wave 1, wave 2, another 1, another 2, and then eventually maybe another 1, 2, and then you want continuation, right? Now, why were the probabilities lower for a multi 1, 2? Well, it started here. This is, okay, maybe, yeah, it's good to learn about fib time. You take the fib time from the low here to the high, and you double click, right? And you toggle on these. 1 second, managing, bit of education here. Okay, let me go to the 5 minute. It's better on the 5 minute. Also for accuracy purposes, there we go. So on the 5 minute, if this is a 1, 2, that can work, right? That can work. And then you need a 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, cool, 4 didn't work, overlap. Okay, can we get a double 1, 2? Well, for a double 1, 2, preferably price does not take out this low. Why? Because of time. Once this low was taken, and this low here was made, this structure, right, is over 4 times longer than this move up. Meaning your second wave 1, right, versus your second wave 2, or actually the other way around, your wave 2 is 4 times longer than your 1. And that is where probabilities start to really decrease for this to be a wave 1 and a wave 2. And besides, if you just let time do its thing, of course, now we are down here, so it doesn't make sense anymore. But this was the first sign where a multi 1, 2, low probabilities, as explained in the content yesterday, because over here we took out this low. So this now becomes very long. Yeah. Another thing that you could use, by the way, is a trend-based sub-extension, comparing your first wave 1 with your second wave 1. Your second wave 1 is quite significantly longer, right? Moving above the 1 to 1 compared to the first wave 1. In a multi 1, 2, preferably your second and third wave 1, 2 are a little bit shorter in time at price or equal to, but not significantly longer because they are of a lower degree. Right? Every 1, 2 is a lower degree. 1, 2, that's your highest degree. 1, 2, that's a lower degree. 1, 2, again lower degree, and then you go, right? It generally creates a bit of a diagonal structure. And a great example of a successful multi 1, 2, we don't have to go that far, is this one here. Right? So you can check this one out if you want to learn more about the multi 1, 2. But yeah, the moment that happens, you're like, multi 1, 2, cool. It's not high probabilities anymore. So we're done with the impulse. The multi 1, 2 has low probabilities, leaving us with a diagonal. However, for a diagonal, this is only wave 1 then, right? We can't count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 in a diagonal. It's expanding. And the most common diagonal structure is a contracting diagonal, not an expanding diagonal. So therefore, this always has low probability. So the only diagonal you're really looking for is a contracting one. And if I quickly do this, you would look for a wave 1, a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. A contracting diagonal. However, a contracting diagonal, or usually most diagonals, only really become relevant once you start working on a wave 4. That is when it can start to be considered, right? It makes no sense to think about diagonals as long as we don't even take out this high, because we need a wave 3 here. And after wave 3, we still need a corrective move down in 4, which has to be a zigzag family structure. And then another move up in 5. So it takes time. So how do probabilities change? If price would take out this high, the first structure you have to think about is going to be a WXY. Initially, that would be then a double zigzag ABC corrective. If you get another ABC up, your first scenario would be bearish, WXY. If you then create a corrective structure down, right, then it opens the possibility at least for a diagonal, as you then can get a potential 5. But only then do probabilities increase for a diagonal. And even after 5, you still look for a retracement and a move up. So you still have enough time to look for an opportunity to long after the diagonal. So if you know about an impulse, a multi 1-2, and a diagonal, you have a very good foundation to start trading Elliott waves. Because if you cannot count one of these three with confidence, you can better start looking for shorts in a bullish, right? So, okay, I can't count an impulse here. Low probabilities for a multi 1-2, and the diagonal takes a long time. Okay, probabilities are higher to take out this low, meaning my bias, because Elliott waves gives bias, right? My bias is taking the low. So, of course, one can try to trade in the direction of the bias, right? Now, I like to use my boxes for some additional confluence, meaning I have a box at 83. I'm very happy to short, but I preferably see some resistance hit, get a nice structure down, corrective move up, potentially even some bearish CVDs, and then loops, yeah, and there we go. Similar as to what I did here. So, yeah. But shorts are more interesting than longs at the moment. But as explained, I am interested in a long, right, nonetheless. But I'm not a beginner anymore. Of course, I'm interested in longing. Also here, I'm interested to long, but I need to see strength, right? I need to see price holding, structure change. I want to see an impulse, three-wave corrective structure that can lead to a nice entry, take out the low as a minimum target, look for the double top, and then 83. Yep. So, there you go. And by the way, in a double zigzag, right, A, B, C, you would then also still look for A, B, C. And this B is what gives you the opportunity. But anyway, I might be asleep. Who knows? I might be asleep when it happens. It's already 8 p.m. Central European time here. So, yeah, we got to wait. Currently at a little bit off support. See what happens here. Long answer, but hopefully valuable nonetheless. So I'm only going to smash the like if Koen takes the cap off. We take the cap off. There we go. There we go. If I do not see that like number go up from 90 to 91, you got a problem. Okay? Wait, here. Right? Okay, wait. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. Oh, there's more people here. Look, guys, I got hair. I actually have hair. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? There is a life underneath the cap of Koen. It's not yet boldness. I mean, it's starting, not gonna lie. But for the webcam, I always have a cap because it says Koens, and we're on the Koens channel. So arguably, you could see it as a little bit of marketing or branding on the channel, right? But yeah, there you go. We got it, and yo, look at this, guys. I don't know what happened, but I just people that are now looking at my chart because my chart is on sharing, right? They are not in the live stream. They have no idea what's happening because you will, if you are in my chart, you will see this. We are at 112, and before I took my cap off, we were at 90. So hey, is that a sign? Is that a sign? Like no Koens cap anymore on the live streams? Does that mean we cross 100 likes? 123. Yo, guys, take a chill pill now, okay? The cap is back on. But thanks for the likes, guys. Thanks for the support. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself. Appreciate it, dude. Okay, quick read here. Do you think ETH visits the 1290 area? I haven't looked at ETH. I think all I know with ETH is we were looking for a downside in the previous video. If you haven't checked it, make sure to check out the recent analysis that I done. It's posted on YouTube in the altcoin channel. So let's see. This one can now turn white. So we were looking for downside. We had a range here. We were looking for price to move down and at least touch support. 618 is generally a minimum target for a wave Y, which is touched. But a wave Y, right? Minimum target, 618. Wave Y can easily go deeper. 1200 is definitely, again, another area of interest. And let's have a look locally if there's any stuff happening here. It's same as Bitcoin, no? Same as Bitcoin. Very three-wave structure to the upside. Probability is higher to take the low unless you form a diagonal, which is low probabilities at the moment. So, and we are, of course, below the support box here now, right? Arguably had a bit of a retest, but we'll see. So, yeah. I'll take it box by box, I should actually say, instead of level by level. Pop, pop. I don't really have a lot going on where price is now. I mean, we touched the 618. It's a nice reaction. There's a little point of control here at 1330. But there's some more confidence down here. And yeah, then we'll see. Right, let's put the 1 on. Yo, how about this? How about this? Imagine. That would be deep, 600. You could, if this is a swing failure pattern, that's a buy opportunity. But if you lose this low, there's not a lot of support till you are at 600. But yeah, level to level, right? We lost this box. We're at the 618. Probability is higher to still take the local low because of the bounce, right? 1200 is an area of interest. I would expect at least a little bit of a reaction again. But yeah, you can kind of get my trading style, I suppose. But what I would like to see, same on ETH, but then of course on a lower time frame would be a 5-wave structure. Give me an impulsive structure and a 3-wave correction. Right? Show me it wants to move up. Right? I'm not hoping. I'm not guessing. I'm analyzing. I'm waiting. I'm looking for confirmation, and then I want to join. Right? So and at the moment we were looking for that WXY. It was on my chart for a long time. And yeah, we were looking for lower. Now we're lower, and we're below the box 618. Yeah, still looking for lower. See if we can get to 1200. And still looking for lower, just because here 3-wave move up. That's bearish. We can't label that bullish. No. Of course, a 3-wave structure up, right? Just like on Bitcoin, can open the door to other scenarios, right? You can have a triangle. Right, you can have a WXY. Right, you can even have a flat on Ethereum, preferably not on Bitcoin, but you can even have a flat, right? An ABC, or at least a first 3-wave, ABC 535, opens up a spectrum of different scenarios. Even a WXY, a sideways WXY, not a double zigzag WXY, also has that opportunity, that possibility. You like boxes more than my cat. Chat, what's up? The formation up in the last move up here is an ABC with a quick C. Do you think... Oh yeah, that's the question was answered. No altcoin season. I think alt season, just like Stuba as well mentioned, we had a little chat in Discord. Or at least Sam and Stuba were talking. And I agree, some alts look really shit. Some alts look okay. But I don't think like alt season be like, oh, every alt is just gonna go up and it doesn't matter what you buy. I think one has to be more selective. So yeah, any seems to be new here. Welcome, Annie. Am I the only one waiting for a sell entry? Nope. I'm always waiting for either both a bull or long and short entry. Wave 4 is allowed max 05, 50%, Mohammed. Doesn't, there's no official rule that says the 618 can't be wave 4, but in theory, you can use the 618 as an invalidation because I've never seen it. Robert Prechter has never seen it. It's not useful. Wave 2 in the first diagonal is very short. Yes, but it makes up the short time in price because it is a very, very fast high bounce. So that's the reason why it's worth keeping it in mind. I just read this, which makes me feel very weird. What live stream? What live stream is this? Are we talking Elliott waves here? Dave Digital. Yeah, where's Dave? Yo, Mr. Friends, man. How you doing? Welcome. Good to have you here. Good to have you. Make sure, by the way, you send me the Word document back, and then I'll send you the PDF and la-di-la, DM. What's your blue box on 83? It's a weekly naked point of control together with a daily. But the weekly naked point of control is more important. So 83.5k. That's the reason why I have the box there, really. It's because of that level. You do realize the original title was John Dutch. Okay. One question. From the 89k top to the 88.8k, I have a 1-2 of a diagonal. It's possible that we did the 3-4 of that diagonal. Interesting question. So from the... One second here. From the 89k top, I would assume you mean 88.8, this one here. I have a 1-2 of a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So you're still looking for a 4 and a 5 in that case. So then you have this. Oh, a little bit like this. WX. This would then be, you label that A, look for B, gotta move down in C. Of course, potential continuation, but it's not really. This would be part of a WXY. X in that case is a running flat. So is there a possibility? Yes, but I would actually like to see price a little higher. So yeah, it's actually a nice idea. It's a fun scenario. Good that you thought about it. We don't have overlap with this low. It's close, right? It's close, but we just missed out. Now, according to the diagonal rules, you don't need overlap between a 1 and a 4, but it is by far most common. Back in the day, it was a rule, by the way, like a very strong guideline. It never was an official rule. A very strong guideline to have overlap between 1 and 4, but the rules of the diagonal became a bit more flexible. So yeah, of course, your wave 3 is also very long, right? Much, much longer compared to your wave 1. Again, there's no rule that says that's not allowed. Ideally, 3 is shorter than 1, right? To get a nice converging structure. But now they say 3 can be longer than 1 as long as 5 is shorter than your 3. You can get a contracting diagonal. Yeah. And of course, 4 has to be shorter than your 2. So yeah, it is definitely one to keep in mind. There's no reason to think. There's no invalidation at the moment. Preferably, of course, you have overlap, but then again, it's only guidelines, right? Preferably 3 shorter than 1, but only guidelines. So, yeah, it would be the same conclusion. So you take the low and then yeah, you look for a bit of a bounce, which is also still what I am looking for. Right, I'm actually not. We've had a nice move down, but this now becomes area of interest for swing longs, and looking for a bit of a bounce, right? Or maybe even like right. So low, 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 and then slowly go back up. So I start to be more interested to look for moves up instead of moves down. No problem. Still look for price to take out this low, see if we can touch 68 and then observe the reaction there. Take it level by level. Yes, Giannis, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of dinner time for me. It's 1 hour 21 live, so I haven't had dinner yet. So I won't make it long again. Jerry, can you explain how to not get info short too fast? How to catch the lower high of resistance when short, for example, on the 83? Wait, can you explain how to not get info short too fast? How to catch the lower high of resistance at 83? 80. Oh, yeah, I mean, look, this of course I have certain things I look for in my trading plan, but if we can make it to 83, right? First of all, make sure you have a checklist, have your plan, have your strategy, right? So that's like number one. But some of the things I want to see is I want to see this resistance touched, get a 5-wave off, and a 3-wave corrective structure. From an Elliott wave point of view, pure Elliott wave trading, that's an entry. Minimum target, take out the low, and then look for potential continuation and extend it. What is also nice is if this move down is a little bit meh, right? Not very clear, but you get a bit of a bounce and you change market structure. If you then keep building some bearish CVDs, right? Absorption of market longs with limit shorts, there's also potential there. If you combine Elliott waves plus this, right? You have another potential. So it's just a combination of tools. Right, combination of tools, looking at Elliott waves, looking at CVD, observing the reaction at my resistance box as well, keeping an eye on the volume, right, keeping an eye on flipping supports into resistance or the other way around. But yeah, keep it simple, stupid is what they say. Not like that's a quote, right? It's a saying. Okay, it's not like that was not personal. Can we count wave 2 or B finish at the recent price movement? We bounce from golden pocket. So I wouldn't label this a B. It has to be an X. Reason is like this move up is very 3-wavy. If we want to count A, B, C, then this B is not deep enough. Why? 5, 3, 5. There's no 5 here. No high probability 5 at least. High probability this is 3. If you want to label this A, B, and look for C, you need a flat. Minimum target for B and a flat is the 0.9 of wave A, which is over here at 75-100, which isn't touched. Therefore, probabilities are higher. You're looking at a W, and then if you get a bounce, that's your X, and you look for a Y, either sideways or a double zigzag to the upside in wave Y. Right? But the answer is yes, there is that, of course, there's the opportunity, but look, and this is very personal, right? You got to know, what do you look for in your trading? What convinces you to take a long or short? It's better to wait for all the boxes to tick and take a high probability trade than trying to trade like small structures or trades you're not really sure about, right? Like, for example, pretty much after the long I took here, I've been pretty inactive on the chart. Right, this moved down, like this was weekend, so I do nothing. Price was here. I don't really have interest. Right, this moved to the upside. Yeah, we had a 5 and a 3 here, but I missed this. Right, and I don't FOMO in. I have interest in a long, but there's no signs of strength according to my plan. I have interest in a short, but we're not at the area, right? And then I first need to see the reaction again. So, yeah, I know what I'm looking for. And for example, in this range here, right? Short here, long there. It's the only two I had. Yeah. It's that was it, right? So I spoke about these in the content as well. But is there an opportunity here to go long? Yeah, we're at a little bit of support here, so there is an opportunity. But for me, there's not enough to risk my money. And if price moves, right, for example, overnight, if price flies to the upside and I miss the move, then I'm happy I missed the move because I did not trade a setup that is not according to my plan and to my rules. I don't need to be part of every move. I need to be part of the high probability setups. Those are the ones that I want to take. I don't want to take every move. I want to take the best moves according to my plan. Answered that question there. Koen travel to Turkey 2027 cancelled. Yo, Koen, what's up, MJ? Yep, still in France. Moved to Dubai. It's amazing. Yo, enjoy Dubai, MJ. What a surprise. Enjoy Dubai. What made you enjoy Dubai? What do you like most about Dubai so far? I will be in Dubai, by the way, for one whole day. And that is the 31st of April. I literally fly in, arrive at 3:40 a.m. on the 31st of April, and I fly out at 4:50 a.m. on the 1st of May. Wait, or 30th of April. I don't know if it's 30 or 31 days. But I got a January, February, March. ETH 1200 looks nice. Currently higher probability to still take out the low. How high is your win rate? On average, between 60 and 70%. Some months are higher, some months are lower, but that's the average. Do you think? Oh yeah, I answered that one. All the time. Jakob 59, welcome. Well, we got some new names in here. I just finished the dishes. That's why I'm late. At least you did the dishes. What's up, Bhavish? Welcome from India. Thanks for being here. Discovered the channel yesterday. Cheers, man. Welcome. We actually have many people from India here. We have many people from India on the channel. India is in the top 5 countries watching my content. So let's see if it still is, because analytics always change, but it definitely was in there. So let me go to the audience. Let's see. Yep, there we are. Wait, let me take a screenshot. Top geographies in the last. There we go. So the US, Germany, India, UK, and Netherlands. There you go. India, yo. So, hey, little bit of action at support. That's what we like to see. Give me a wave B. Well, I'm in. Is there a price point or a support level where you say, oh, guys, Bitcoin is in a bear market? I answered a similar question yesterday. So this always happens each cycle, right? The word bull market and the word bear market tend to be thrown around and impact the emotional state people are in. Like, ooh, bear market. It creates a lot of fear, but there's a lot of money to be earned in a bear market. Same in a bull market, it creates like a hope, like, oh, bull market, there we go, yes. And then bear market, fuck, But the emotional connection to the words, in my opinion, are not valuable for your trading. So imagine this is the start of a bear market. Then what? You know what I mean? Are we in a bear market? I think for me, it's a good question, by the way, Ganso, right? If you take out 49, that's not very good. But by the time you're at 49, everyone's already talking about a bear market, right? So when are you in a bear market? Question mark, right? So for example, on the weekly time frame, we were keeping an eye on this. You can go to all my old videos in home screen of YouTube, go to the high time frame Elliott wave playlist, and you will see this on the weekly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that mean that we were looking for price to top in the box? Locally on the daily, we were observing multiple 1-2s, multiple 4-5s, then look for price to move down. Does that mean that high is in and we have a bear market? I don't know, but at least shorting inside this box, and of course we had the daily time frame, multiple 1-2s, multiple 4-5s. There was definitely a higher probability short in this area. That's all we can say. Did you then short the bear market? Maybe. But by the time people talk about bear market, you're already significantly down, right? So, for example, on a daily, here, this move down, right? This move down, like some people are just a retracement, just a retracement, and up we go back up. Impulsive structure down, corrective move up. We are looking for lower. Is this then bear market? Or is it because we moved up to all-time high? It's not bear market, right? Like I trade both ways. So it's always a bit of it's difficult to give an exact answer to the question, right? When are you in a bear market? Well, maybe you already are in a bear market. If you take 49K, that would be a problem. But by that time, everyone's talking about a bear market anyway, because you go that low. And possibly that's your all-time high. We were looking for price to top here and move down. Yeah. So it's that I guess that's how I answer the question. I can't really answer it in a better way because I in my opinion the word bull or bear market has no meaning. It's just the market, and the market goes up and the market goes down, and one should trade with a solid plan and not be carried by emotion. So on a weekly time frame, if we can count 5 waves up, and then on the daily and the last leg when 4 is finished, we can count a few 1-2s and we have our wave 3 and we start to range again, everyone should realize this is 4-5 territory. And 4-5 territory generally means not a lot more upside left. And you're in 4-5 territory on the daily of a potential weekly 5. Not a great place to be buying for spot. No? And if that then leads to a bear market, or if this is a retracement and we continue up, and then of course we have other scenarios here that are bullish, it doesn't really change the way to approach the market. So, yeah. Know what I mean? Oh, thanks, by the way, for the... What was it? Was it Jacob? Someone liked and put the notifications on or subscribed. Thanks for the sub. Oh, makes me think. I want to actually show you a message that I wrote in gold earlier because we were chatting. And then I wrote this as a reply. So in gold, we were talking about like business and like, let's keep an eye on the chart at the same time. So we were talking about different things in gold. Gold is, of course, a lot of analysis, but sometimes everyone starts chatting about other themes. And at a certain moment, we were talking about freedom and how trading, of course, can create freedom, but there's other ways and people might experience freedom in a different way. So I wrote this. Feel free to stop the stream. I don't really want to read everything because then I prefer to answer a few more questions in chat than trying to read this whole thing. But feel free to read the message. Yeah, that's my mindset on the topic. So wherever you are, having a job, starting a business, creating freedom by trading, freedom by business. Maybe you have freedom by having a great job and you love what you do, and that is freedom to you. Enjoy what you do. That is most important. Oh, there you go. Jacob or Jakub. Thanks, man. Welcome. Good question, Gans. Good question. Koen is married. We all know dinner is a ham, cheese sandwich if he's lucky. I heard dinner tonight is... what's that? Oh, shit, I forgot the word. I wanted to pull a joke, but now I have to explain it. I forgot. Is it mussels? Man, I really have to use ChatGPT. Yeah, muscles. Oh, well, there goes the joke. Never mind. How to measure FIB levels in a WXY? I would because of speed as well. I would recommend to, in the description, go to LINKTREE and check out the Elliott Wave Beginner's Guide and go to the WXY videos, right, for more detail. There's two WXY, double zigzag, and you have a sideways WXY. Double zigzag WXY is from the start of W, end of X, and then your common target area is between the 1 and the 1.236, and also still the 1.618 for a double zigzag is fine, right? The 0.618 is a lot less common. For a sideways WXY, the target for your Y taken from the start to the end of W to the end of X, same target fibs. Wait, what did I? There you go. Same fibs, but now your common target area is a 0.618 to the 1.236, and the 1.618 is less common. So those are the two options. I learned my ABC from Koen as well. You should come see our trading floor. Oh, are you at a trading floor? Yeah, I think in hindsight, I should have taken more time in Dubai. Like, I'm there for 1 day. I should have maybe arrived earlier. But I have a lot of stuff to do before I leave as well. And on the 1st of May is the birthday of my wife. And there's no way I'm going to miss the whole birthday of my wife, right? So I want to be back in the afternoon, and then we can go for dinner and celebrate her birthday still and stuff. But I at least can go to Token. So yeah, but I should have maybe added a few days before, but you know, it's the way it is. I'll go back to Dubai another time and then do all the stuff that I missed out on. I was actually in the US a couple of weeks ago, and I was at the New York Stock Exchange, but there's a lot of security around it, and there's no way to enter without having the right connections, the right name, or the business, or whatever. So maybe one day, at least. I know Robert Prechter has entered a couple of times, and maybe one day he's like, yo, Koen, want to join? I don't know. I should write him a message, see how he's doing. Cheers, Finkamsi. So we are here. I suppose. How do you recognize a 3-wave or 5-wave movement? I mean, pretty much by. I mean, I can give you an example, but it's quite literally, of course, what you say. So a 5-wave movement should be an impulsive structure. So the lesson here is that you know the impulsive structures, right? And you can find content on these on my channel in the beginners playlist. I have check the video impulse, check the video multi 1-2, and check the video diagonal. Okay, those are 5-wave structures. A multi 1-2 is 5-3, 5-3, 5-3, and then eventually you go up. So, but it starts with a 5. So for example, here we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave structure, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And it's quite neat, no? Then you have a 3-wave move down, right? You swing the highs. Generally, what you don't want to see is a wave 5 that only swings the high of a 3 and then starts to move down. In other words, probabilities are higher that this is either a B or an X. Some additional information, preferably a wave 5, just like over here, has definitely some candle closes above a 3, right? Much cleaner instead of a wick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-wave down. That's your potential, right? That's a 5, no? Now, and then if we zoom out, so that's a 5-minute example. And then if we zoom out, okay, this is 5 waves up. Perfect. We can enter it. That's valid, right? 3-wave down. And then we get another 5-wave up. But that means that from this low, we now have 1, 2, 3. We need another 4 and another 5, but we never got the 4 and the 5. So therefore, a retracement initially is less interesting to long for a change of market structure and much higher prices. Can we move up? Of course we can move up, right? But then preferably by now it's either a diagonal, which is too early. And if you do take out the high, it's more interesting to look for WXYs instead of bullish structures, because this is now a very clear up, sideways, up, right? So those are, I suppose, 2 examples in to answer your question. Ooh, a lot of chatting, eh, today. Would look sexy ball. What's up, for wheel? Short at 80.1k, looking to take the low maybe down to 72. What do you think? Short at 80.1. 80.1. Oh, wait. I mean, if you go all the way up to 80.1, is that the 886? No. The issue, I mean, look, you have a plan. I can only answer your question by comparing your idea with my trading plan. So my answer will never fully be aligned with your way of thinking, because I don't know your plan, everything you look for, and maybe 80.1k for you is an amazing entry. But if you hit 80.1k, you also touch the 886, which decreases probabilities this is impulsive for a wave 3 down. The only way I would be interested to short 80.1k is if this range continues and we create a W, X, and then wave Y, right, is either a flat A, B, C, and then you want C to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you short the end of 5, okay? Alternatively, you get an A, B, C, D, E triangle, but then likely you're going to have a short at a later, like more lower price because of E, right? A is the highest, and then B, C, D, E is the lowest, and then you look for price to move down. But yeah, that's just, I suppose, the way I look at it. At the moment, I have no interest there, right? Just to be transparent here. But if the range continues, gives me more information, I might become interested. But at the moment, not yet. So. Bitcoin lost dipping. Yeah, I mean, still looking to take the low, and then we just observe the next bounce, no? Take it level, bounce by bounce, level by level. Hope Koen doesn't read chat. I try to go and read between the blue names, guys. Mods are doing their own thing at the moment. I mean, Sibel and Mark, you guys, you two, you have to add each other on WhatsApp. Come on, like, get it done. Just get it done, right? And if you marry in the future, right, or whatever, like, invite me, and then I'll be happy. Okay, so it always goes like this with you two. Isn't NDE any fun stuff for everything? Oh, I like live streaming. I love live streaming. I love talking. I love the engagement. Yo, wow, 107. I just opened my streaming window. 170 likes, guys. That's incredible. Thanks for that, guys. That's very kind of you. Appreciate it. I don't often reach 170 likes in one stream. Rarely ever do we touch 200. Yeah, that's quite impressive. Thanks, guys. Honestly, I appreciate that. Can you, I might do the dishes later. Yeah. Bavish, can you please explain which indicator or tool is that, which yellow, blue, which, that is called CVD. So this window, right? This window is the website AGGR. So let me explain a little bit. Thank you later, Finn. So the indicator is called CVD. It's for free. It's public. and you can go to Discord. Also, if you have trouble getting in Discord, the links work, but maybe you have a very new, or very likely, if you make a new account, you can't join in the first 24 hours because of scam protection, because scammers tend to make brand new accounts and then just enter, in all the groups. Also, make sure to check out my Instagram story, because this morning at, I don't know, it was probably like 6 a.m., I opened my comment section in YouTube. And then there is a tab that is posted comments, and those are public for everyone. And then there's a tab called held, and those are the potential scam comments. And I recorded me scrolling through all the scam comments that appeared in the last 9 hours, which is basically my night. And there were 1,233 scam comments in 9 hours, guys. Yeah, I'm happy I got a good filter. I put a lot of energy in making sure scam comments do not appear and adding new scam words to the scam list in YouTube so that the comments automatically are filtered. Yeah, that's insane. That was insane. Anyway, back to the CVD. So if you go to Discord, here is the link, right? Wait, let me just put this. Avoid you. There you go. That's the website. And then for the template, so when you open the website, you won't see those lines. You see a completely different window. You're like, wait, that's not the same as Kuna's. That's true. Because here is a template without the lines. Template with the lines can be found over here, right? That's in Discord. And then this is a one-pager to explain CVD in a little bit of detail with the theory, right? So this is what I made. And I also have a full video on CVD on my channel, which happens to be the so far best video actually on the channel. So if we go to the Linktree again, Linktree is in the description, right? And we click on CVD explanation. We go to the video. There you go. And this video in 9 minutes and 20 seconds explains CVD. Yeah. 58,000 views. It's incredible. I never thought that there were so many questions about CVD. So many people looking for CVD. It's 1 year old now. Oh, longer. Oh, it said 1 year, but it's almost 2. Yeah, quite nutty. So yeah, you can just go through this. Ooh, this is also the first video where I can see the popularity of watching, like the waves, because most of my videos don't get enough views for me to trigger this system. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. Go to a motel, exactly. No need to explain. I've already sent my credit card details. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate it, guys. Also, for the ones leaving comments on the videos and stuff, I am personally reading everything and, of course, replying to as many comments as I can, which most of the case is all of them. Sometimes together with Jeroen. But thanks for all the comments. I love reading comments and replying. I've done it since the start, and I try to keep up having 100% comment reply rate. So every comment posted gets a reply. One day there's likely going to be we'll see. I don't know how big this channel is going to be. I don't really have a plan for it. I need to work on it. But, as long as I keep pushing content, I guess, and I do a good job, I suppose things grow naturally, and maybe one day I won't be able to reply to all the comments, but for now I can. Annie. So because of the chatting with Sibel, Mark, and then Annie as well, I have no idea where Annie comes from. I because Annie is for me new in chat. Very, very active together with Sibel and Mark. So I have a feeling that maybe Mark and Annie know each other, or maybe Sibel and Annie, but I don't know. There's something going on here. Welcome, though. Welcome to everyone watching. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Drew. Andy for Andy. Almost 200 likes. 196 likes. Oh, that's insane. It has been a very consistent stream as well, actually, and how many people are here. Really cool. The Alta Gang. Ah! Oh, no, that's Drew. Okay, I see. Sam. I am long time at... Wait, Sam, what is your... Wait, you can't see it. Do you have a white name or do you have a yellow name? You should have a yellow name. Is your name the same in Discord as it is here? No. Are you sure you're in my... Like, let me know your username. Because, of course, you should have a yellow name here. Right? Like everyone here. It should be yellow. Because else you can't see it. You need to be... Oh, okay. Easy, I'll go. Oh, but then... Oh, wait. Probably this is what happened. Okay. So you have the yellow name, so that's good. What you have to do is unfold the welcome section. And then the channels underneath. So I can clean up my groups by... Well, unless they're white and people actually chat. But as you can see, I can fold everything. Right? So probably welcome is folded. You just need to click on welcome and then welcome opens and then there's good to know. Raja Kumar, 200th like. Thanks. Thanks, Rayat and all the, well, now 201. So all the 200 other people. Thanks, guys. 200 likes. That's insane. That's insane. It's very rare for my streams to reach 200 likes. So, at least at the moment, with the current size of the channel. So thank you for watching and your support. It's always difficult to really show great appreciation through a webcam. You know what I mean? Like in real life, you would like shake people's hand or, you know, give people a hug. And here it's like, you know, what do I do? Am I going to hug my webcam? Shake hands? It's odd. I don't even have welcome option. Sam, write me a DM because now yes, just send me a DM or send the mods a DM. Do you have other group? Wait, Sam, do you have the channel's general questions in the bottom? If so, tag the team, Koen's team, tag Odin, tag maybe Band-Aid, tag someone else. Might have muted the channel. Yeah, exactly. I have a feeling because he's in the group, so he should be able to see it. So it's, you know, now I'm feeling useless. You're one of the 200 warriors. You can perform a bow. That should do. That is true. That is true. But if I bow, then it's like, where's you know, here's my bow. You didn't see it. My desk is too high. It's a standing desk. No. Yo, everyone, it is time for me to wrap things up. And call it a night and then see where Bitcoin is tomorrow. Just to let you know that tomorrow on Wednesday, we have some news, FOMC minutes. I mean, generally not too much action with the minutes. You're right, at 8 p.m. Central European time, but we'll see. This Thursday should be a lot more interesting, to be honest. I can expect some volatility on Thursday and then a bit of a calmer day on Friday. I mean, PPI. Maybe not. 2:30 p.m. on Friday and 2:30 on Thursday. Those are the two that I would keep an eye on. Yep. Have fun with the dishes. We got a dishwasher, yo. I'll just tank it in. But yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Tomorrow morning, we'll see where price is, and if anything new happens, you'll be seeing a new video online. Just to summarize the probabilities. So on a 4-hour time frame, right? Or the 1 hour even, or even the 50-minute, doesn't matter. Probabilities are higher to take out this low, right? Reason is the move up is a 3-wave structure, right? We can't count this as a bullish structure being an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, overlap between 1 and 4. Multi 1, 2 doesn't work. And a diagonal is too early, right? So you would need to still get a wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, correction, and then, right? So unless you get a diagonal, which is going to take some time, probabilities are higher for the bears and price to take out the low. Now, what I would prefer to see is a bigger range and possibly 83K. Now, that was the probabilities mentioned in the morning update where I was like, well, price touched the 886 here, so probabilities are low. This is a wave 1, right? And this is a wave 2. I also struggle to end a correction here. I can't count a WXY because we didn't take the low, right? Zigzag, X, there's no flat here, so I can't get a sideways WXY in here. So I don't know, it would be nicer to go sideways for a longer period of time, right? Maybe even reach 83. But yeah, 83, that's an area for me to be interested in a short, get a reaction, move down, get a retracement up. Based on this, I'll decide if I then short yes or no. That's part of my plan. I am interested in potentially a long, but there's not enough information. If I end the stream, I'm also ending my chart time. I just have my set times. I have no interest really to continue sitting behind the chart. So we'll see. Tomorrow is another day and maybe another opportunity. But at the moment, there is no interest for me. So yeah, that's basically it. The higher time frame bias is still looking for lower support to the downside, 68K. Remember, we do have between 72 and 69.5 a golden pocket, but no horizontal levels, as you can see. Right. So therefore, 68 is more interesting. And then the story repeats. What's the bounce that we get? Right? Is it a 5-wave? Is it a 3-wave? And then we will know what we can do. Are we going to long into there or are we going to short again? We'll see. So that is the probabilities. High time frame, take the low. This range, I wouldn't mind continuing the range, but yeah, I'm not participating at the moment. I don't see anything here. So would of course be great to take out the double top, hit 83. That would be the dream. There is still the potential for a W, X, and Y. But yeah, need some signs of strength. Probabilities this morning were take out the low on the 4-hour and on the 15-minute, take out the high / a continuation of the range. I think arguably the probabilities remain the same on both these time frames. At the moment, we are just continuing the range and see if we get a bit of a bounce from the last area of kind of support. So, but yeah, the higher time frame bias remains taking out the low, and any longs are against the trend. I can see Annie fitting in very, very well in our live stream chat together with Sibel and Mark. Chat is gonna be an absolute hectic chat. Okay. Hello, Daniel. Sorry, Daniel, because I have to go. Thanks everyone for being here, and I will put timestamps in the VOD, and you will be able to see where the analysis started and all that stuff. I'll see you next time.